I worked for many years supporting Macs in creative adjacent fields, and early on, the bane of my existence was dealing with application settings. Creative applications have a lot of specific settings like scratch disk locations, audio and video input and output preferences, and so many editable toolbars and palettes that it would make your head spin. Thankfully, most of these settings and special preferences are actually contained in plist files in the user's library folder. I learned a couple of neat tricks and I want to show those to you today. So on my Mac here, I've installed VLC, which is a media player. And I haven't opened it yet. I've just drag and dropped it. It was a DMG installer, so I just drag and dropped it into the applications folder. And I also want to go ahead and go into my user's library folder for you here. So let's hold down Option here, go to the Go menu, and choose Library. And I want to point out a couple of folders here. The first one here is Application Support. In here you're going to see folders and files for a variety of different third-party and first-party applications that are installed on your Mac that are going to be specific settings that are unique to the logged-in user or the actual user that this library folder is in the home directory of. In addition to that, further down we have the Preferences folder, and we've looked at this before, but let's go ahead and drill into this a little bit. And I want to show you something. When I go ahead and launch the VLC app for the first time, it's actually going to add a couple of files to this folder. And I'm going to scroll down here because these are in alphabetical order, and they usually are in a reverse DNS naming convention. So you can see here, com.microsoft. And then, .plist. And so what we'd expect here from VLC, which is an open source application, is org.videolan.something.plist. So let's go ahead and open this up for the first time and see what happens here. I'll go ahead and say allow to this stuff and no thanks to metadata. And if you see, we've got a file here that just got created, org.videolan.vlc.plist. Let's go ahead and inspect that with a quick look here. And it looks like we've got some key value pairs as you would normally see in a plist. So this is where VLC actually stores some of its user settings. Let's go ahead and close out of this once. And here I've got VLC app here in the foreground, and I'm just going to go ahead and let's go ahead and change some settings around here. Let's go up to settings here, and I'm going to turn off this display VLC status bar icon. I don't really want that up here. And let's just say I disable the audio here, and maybe I make a couple more changes here to the video. And let's go ahead and disable the OSD as well. I'll go ahead and hit save. Now it's gone ahead and updated and even added another folder here for some of our settings. So we have two files here that describe to VLC how it should look and how it should work. Now what I used to get all the time when I was working at the art institutes and other places was someone would call me and say, I can't make heads or tails of what's going on in this application. All the menu bars have moved around. Someone, probably a student, had sit down and completely trashed all of the settings on the machine, or something wasn't working and it had been working before and we can't figure it out. And I'll tell you, one of the things that happens is if the application launches and it follows Apple's guidelines and it doesn't see any plist in the preferences folder there, what it does is it goes ahead and recreates those. So a quick little shortcut here. Let's go ahead and quit out of VLC once. And let's say we want to go ahead and reset everything to the default. Let's go ahead and select this file in this other folder here, and we're just going to go ahead and drag those right to the trash can. And we don't have to empty the trash, but I'm going to do it anyway. But it's no longer in that preferences folder, which is the important thing. Now let's go ahead and reopen up VLC again. And if I go up to settings, you're going to find everything is back to the default. Now, VLC is really nice because they actually give you a reset all button here, but that's just not usually the case with most creative applications, unfortunately. So let's try a couple other things here. Let's say that we've got the settings exactly the way we want them. We don't want the VLC status menu icon, and we don't want to control playback with the Apple remote. We want to not automatically check for updates, but we want to allow for metadata network access, and we want to enable notifications. And let's say I've got some picky users who want it just like this, and they don't want to have to go in here all the time and change it. In fact, they're going to contact me on the help desk every time with a little bit of a nasty message that they've had to mess around with their settings again because someone reset them. So let's go ahead and hit save here. And what we're going to do in this case is actually grab both of these files. And we're just going to go ahead and hold down the Option key and drag them out here. That will automatically make a copy of them. And what I can do is I can actually place this somewhere, and I could put it somewhere else on this Mac and write a quick little script that executes when they log in. And that's something your system administrator could potentially do. But as a help desk person, I'm just going to keep these. Because instead of me having to go in here and make all these little changes every time I've got a user that complains about VLC not working the way that they want with their default settings, I'm going to do a little bit of a tricky thing. I'm just going to go ahead and quit out of VLC here. And let's go ahead and delete those settings that were in here. That means the next time it launches, it's going to try to write default ones back into the directory. So we'll go ahead and open up VLC one more time. And we'll go up to settings here. And I'm back to my default settings. I've got the display the VLC status menu. I've got playback with the Apple remote. Everything is back the way I want. And of course, I'm angry because I had just customized this interface and I've lost all my changes. But here's where this could be really handy for you as a help desk person. Is let's go ahead and quit out of VLC here. And you could execute a script to do this, or you could just simply drag and drop your backup of those settings into the preferences folder. Go ahead and say apply all and go ahead and say replace. Now let's go ahead and open up VLC, and we can go into settings here, and now our settings are back to the way that we wanted them. So that's just a quick little way that you can manipulate user preferences to support and repair issues with applications. Hopefully at some point it'll save you hours of work and even more hours of frustration.